Today, I'm going to show you an epic game between me, 1900 ELO on chess.com, versus a Grandmaster. To be fair, this game was a bullet game, and we're both about close to 2,000 in bullet rating. So this was kind of unfair for him because he was older than me, and mouse skill is probably not as good, and he hasn't played as many games as me in bullet. But to say the least, this game was amazing, and you'll see who took the W and who took the L. Me or the Grandmaster from India. Enjoy the game. Okay, so here's the game between me and Grandmaster Peter from India. As you see in his title here, if you click on it right here, you'll see he's GM Peter or GM Prithu Gupta, who actually, if you search on Google, he's an Indian chess grandmaster, and he got to beat Vishy Anand. He got recognized by Modi, who's the Prime Minister of India. So he's very high rated in all his blitz and rapid, but not as much as bullet. But he is, as you see here, a grandmaster, and that's all that matters. If you're beating a grandmaster, that's really all that matters. Okay, so yeah, here's the game, and again, so it's me, who's 1900 ELO, versus GM Peter, who's about 2400 ELO in rapid and blitz about. So yeah, enjoy this game between me and the GM because it was amazing and extremely fun. So let's get started. So Prithu Gupta, who's the GM, like I said, goes with the Reti opening, or as I thought the Reti opening, but I go for this weird type of Caro-Kann setup. This is like the Slav type of, this is like the Slav imitation, which I actually studied for the Reti opening, so I'm pretty prepared for this opening. But then he like surprises me, right? He goes for the English opening, which is okay. So for the English, basically, usually in the English you start with this, and maybe I go for this, and I go for this, which is the symmetrical variation of the English, and maybe he goes for this, then I go for this, and we just symmetrical castles, maybe like that, or sorry, not that, maybe like that or something. I don't know, but okay, so that did not go our way, right? I went the Caro-Kann type system, and then he went the English opening, which is reverse move order. He actually did. Usually supposed to start with c4 and then do the knight out, but he did the opposite. That's fine. And I go for the Caro-Kann type setup again. He doesn't take because he wants to fiend kettle the bishop on b2, right? And then I go for this nice knight move over here. I like this move, right? Takes. I have a nice pawn in the center. And then if he does go for this type of move, I would like to do this in a regular game and do kind of like transfer into the Nimzowitsch-Larsen attack. But I don't do that. And he does go for the fiend kettle though. And then instead I go for this 5-pawn center, right? I go for this weird type of 5-pawn center. In a rapid or blitz game, I would not want to do this. Maybe in a blitz game, but in a rapid game, I wouldn't want to do this because this bishop's nice, I guess, but I would have to fiend kettle this bishop kind of weirdly on this square. And I guess it's not that bad, but I don't like this center too much of mine. So, okay, so we go for that. He fiend kettles, and I go for this, again, this triangular type setup. Moves the pawn there. The point of that is to get his bishop out and maybe castle, or maybe not. So we see here, I go for the bishop out, he goes for the knight. So this is normal stuff, right? And then I go for knight here. Obviously not knight to the rim, because that's dim, as they say. So I go for knight to d7, kind of supporting this, and making myself maybe easily to castle on any side I want after I get my queen out, which I actually did next. So he got his queen out there. I got my queen out there. And I don't like the point of this move, apparently, like what I thought, was to kind of put pressure on this pawn if he moves the bishop out in castles. But I should have thought that he could just castle long, which I didn't think about. So he did castle long. And as you see here, I've used up only 5 seconds of my clock. He's used up about 7 seconds of his clock. So pretty nice. I take, which I think taking is fine. But then I go for some weird bishop move. This, which is kind of weird because it just takes, and I'm just in bad position again. I think I should have maybe gone here, which is better, because then he's not forced to take, but he might takes, and I have a good bishop. So maybe that's better. But I didn't do that. I did with the kind of weird bishop move, and then takes, and then that. Okay, now this is the move that changed the course of the game, okay? For me, at least. So basically, if I take, right, he can take with check And I thought in the bullet game he could win my queen too. But what I didn't realize was that, like, in the real game, I thought, oh, I'll have to block it, and then he would take, and then he's up a queen, obviously. But I didn't think about this move, which after the game I thought about that, which prevents against check and prevents my queen from getting taken. So I think that's a pretty nice move. So takes, boom, takes, what was I thinking? Sorry, takes, I go for, what did I actually go for? No, sorry, he didn't take. So this was the position I was in, right? So I didn't actually take him. Instead, I went to queen to e7, right? And he takes the hanging, what is it called, knight, and I take his hanging knight too, and we're kind of just equal except he's up a pawn, right? And then he checks me, obviously, taking back the pawn that I took his knight with, and I block the check, and then takes, and then he does that, and the point of doing that is to prevent against, like, maybe he does that or something, to prevent against this, because then he has to sack the queen, boom, boom, and he's just losing. So he prevents against that, he moves the king, and then I still go for that because I liked my rook on that open file, like right next to his king, right? He moves there, and I was thinking about something like this, right? And then he'd have to move there, and then I could go for maybe like something like that. But then he would just take there, and I don't really know what to do after this since, like, I can't, there's no checks anywhere, and my rook is just hanging. So I didn't do that. Instead, I went there, preventing him from taking my pawn, right? He goes for that, I think trying to put more pressure, move both of his pawns downwards, right? And I castle, which is terrible. And in a rapid game, I would have lost immediately if I castled, right? The point of this is because I have such an open file on my king, so he could just move his rook here, and maybe I do like that or something. He starts pushing his pawns. Takes, take, boom, boom, and I'm just doomed. Even if I can do that, he just has stuff he can do. And my king is locked in this box. It's locked in this box. Okay, so I thought he would do that, but he doesn't do that after I castle in the worst position. And he does that, which is a blunder, obviously, because I win a pawn. But you might think, how do I win a pawn? Takes and takes. And it's equal, right? I mean, except he's up a pawn, but we traded pawns off, which is fine. But what you didn't see was that this was a blunder because takes, and resignation. And the resignation is because I fork his king. Sorry, I check his king and fork his rook at the same time, right? You can't prevent against it. If he does that, I take. If he moves his rook up, I take, obviously. And then if he moves there, I take. I mean, I guess he could take that, but then I'm just up a rook, so there's no way to stop this, basically. So, yeah, and that's actually what happened in the game. He moved the pawn forward. I take, he takes, and I give him the brutal check, also picking up the rook. And in this position, GM Peter, or the Grandmaster from India, he resigned. And this is my first game ever beating a GM. Like, I've never beat a GM in my life. This is my first game. I know it's bullet, and bullet is kind of worse than rapid, and people can make mistakes in bullet. But even in bullet, it's amazing to beat a GM. And yeah, that's really just the entire game. I hope I play more GMs soon, and even IMs, NMs. I hope I play more like title players soon, because I am on the road to 2,000 right now. If you follow my rest of my journey, I am on the road to 2,000. So, and I actually am 1900 rapid. So I am kind of the same in bullet and rapid. I'm a little bit higher in bullet though, because I play a lot of bullet, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so when I start getting my ranks up, maybe I can start playing more title players now, which would be an amazing feat. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the Grandmaster game today, guys. If you did, please like and subscribe. And yeah, see you later. Peace out.